In a lot of my videos, I continually say the phrase, what are you aligning yourself with? Pay attention to what you're aligning yourself with. Over the years and so on, I've gained more awareness of how I personally have been aligning myself with more of my, say, for example, more of my eternal self, more of my eternal knowingness, and so on. And it's been work. It's been a process of integrating how I am able to do that. And so the process of learning and becoming aware of certain things, of how things work, seeing that how vibration plays a role in what we align ourselves with. And the one biggest thing is that I've become more aware of within recent months is what so many people talk about as far as timelines and the magnetics of timelines and how our certain perspectives of how we see things hold vibration. And through this vibration, we align with certain timelines. It's almost like how I see it is it's almost like if you have different magnets and there's one side that they repel each other and you can push them against each other and they repel, where if you turn it, they attract and basically can automatically align with one another. To me, that's how timelines work from my perspective. They're energetic in nature. Every single day, we are coming in contact with different timelines through the different things that we're doing throughout the day. There's different levels of timelines also that lead us into a greater timeline, or you could say a timeline in itself is like a path. It's just a path that we're on. But as I shared recently in something I wrote on Facebook, a collective of people that is filled with hate is on a time, what I could describe as a timeline of self-destruction. It's on a path of self-destruction. If there's continual, tons of hate within a collective of people, it's bound to self-destruct. It's not going to last very long. It's not sustainable for a collective of people to have so much hate within the group. It's going to cause all kinds of destruction. And the collective of people that have this element of so much hate, it's just not going to survive the long term. So there's different ways to look at different timelines. That's it gets a little bit complicated in some ways to try to wrap our mental awareness around it. But the biggest thing is for us to truly become aware of, in order to comprehend timelines, is to see that everything comes in alignment with one another that has to do with vibration. And I'm not talking about positive or negative. Positive and negative, in a way, to me, is a description coming from a dualistic reality. That in that way, coming from a dualistic perspective, is limited. in its way. So in order to have a more expanded view of things, you let go of the dualistic perspectives and simply look at things from a standpoint of vibration instead of good or bad or, this or that or light or dark and everything else. Let go of all the dualistic perspectives and simply focus on vibration. Vibration is what takes us from one timeline to another. That is where the alignment process comes in. When we align, for example, ourselves and connect with our higher self, our higher presence, and so on, we are energetically connecting with that space. Energetically, vibrationally, we're connecting with that space. The more that we do that, the more the information flows freely from our higher perspective to, say, this perspective of that's here in this physical body. We align ourselves because the energetic, I guess, what is that word? Frequency calibration. The other word is I'm feeling, I can't really say it. But anyway, it has to do with the energetic alignment. So like if we're continually saying outside of ourselves, like spirit, connect me with this, spirit, give me this, God, give me this, everything else, are we truly aligning ourselves energetically with that level in order to connect with the information that we're asking for? In one of the other videos, I shared about abundance and the importance of focusing on the end result and actually feeling the end result of that abundance or whatever we wish to manifest, and truly feeling it into existence, feeling it and seeing that it already exists to the point where it's already here. That in itself is about us aligning ourselves with the energetics of what we're perceiving as the end result for which we wish to experience. In the same way, if we wish to experience peace on earth, we need to align ourselves energetically and vibrationally with the energy of peace and release these old programs of faith, power over others, fear, worry, all this dualistic fighting and perspectives against an opposing force and so on, and align ourselves with the energy of peace. Be the energy of peace. Don't just believe it. See it, that it already exists here on earth. See how people are working together to a greater degree because of the energy of peace, because they choose peace. Again, how that happens is us aligning ourselves with that. So the same way, there's just a lot of different ways to look at timelines. There's different ways to look at how we energetically align with what we wish to experience. If we continually focus on fear, we're going to do nothing but experience more fear. If we continue to focus on, say, a lack of connection and our perspective of a lack of connection to what you view as God or spirit or whatever, the same thing is going to replicate and experience. You're going to continue to experience the lack of feeling of connection. So this is a very important thing to integrate if you wish to experience something different than you currently are. Everyone on earth right now is going through this. Everyone's integrating different levels of this knowingness of how we're integrating more of this awareness of, say, 5D perspective than than the old perspective of how we view things from a linear time perspective. To see that all these different levels are basically available and here for us to experience now. It's just a matter of us aligning ourselves with what we wish to experience.